Hey guys, welcome to this video. I'm going to do this Abyss 5.4 February using Neuvillette and Kazuha on the first half and right sleeve arena, Shanling and Bennett on the second half. This Abyss was not a big of a challenge. This is why I'm just recording this as of right now, March 15th. And I'm just clearing this Abyss as fast as I can.
The tides beckon.
And it's a bit of pain. I'm not going to comment on it a lot because I already did it, recorded, and the audios that I recorded were gone. So yeah, just lean back and enjoy the gameplay, I guess. So right now I'm just going to use Kazuha and Neuvillette. First half. Use Kazuha after Neuvillette. Apply Hydra so you can reduce the resistance and also gain the damage buff gained by Kazuha. And if you do this properly, you can usually achieve quite good amount of time, just because the Kazuha and Neuvillette are just such a good combo. And I have C1 Neuvillette, but you can just use other characters to balance it out. For example, use Zhongli, use Aurora, and you will get his passive. And this half, team is pretty straightforward. It's Neuvillette with Arena, which are going to trigger freeze reactions, and there are also melt reactions in the background. Usually you want to have like permanent uptime on Pyro, and Rise is going to do melt, but if you do the setup wrong, it oftentimes happens that your Shanling is going to do the melt, which in general isn't even bad because Shanling is doing a lot of damage. Not right now, and I wondered why the damage is so low on Shanling, because usually the damage is much higher. But we can see it later on when I check the build. Shanling was missing her attack stance, which would amplify the damage by a lot, or just what I really like to use is the ER stance, because that makes the rotations much faster. Not faster, but more reliable. So yeah, this half is also pretty easy, but I would say this is the more challenging half, because it's very single target focused, so teams which are usually built for AoE don't work that efficient here. So I would advise you to use characters like, for example, or reactions like Hyper Bloom, because they're very good at attacking a single target. But if you have characters that don't specialize in AoE damage but more like single target damage, they work very well. Can't really think of any because most of them are good at doing both, but like Kinich is very strong this half, I think. Not this half, but the second half. I'm still stuck behind on the previous chamber. That here is very important tip from me is, if you use Kazuha, to not just instantly kill those villagers with those pyro torches, but instead use his burst to infuse with pyro, because this will not only apply pyro on the opponents, which are going to allow your Neuvillette to evade and amplify this damage, but it would also be an extra Hydra reaction, which would give Neuvillette one more stack on his passive, which is also a huge buff on his charge attack damage. So yeah, of course this half is the slow half, and the second half, unlike the previous chamber. But this is fine because, in my opinion, the second half of this chamber is very easy to do, but it just depends on your characters. If you don't have the luxury or the comfort to clear the second half very fast, I would advise you to maybe not use Hydro characters on this half, because the Hydro rogues are Hydro resistance, not fully Hydro resistance, they don't have immunity. But maybe use like characters like Alakino. Speaking of Alakino, Alakino also works very well on this half. But I just use Riley. He's my new character. I pulled for him. As I already missed him on his release when I lost the 50-50. But now I have him built pretty decently, I would say. He's pretty new, so his talents aren't up that much. And also what really annoys me is that he shares the same talent material as Alakino and Neuvillette, so of course I'm pretty slow with his investment, because I had to focus on those two and I wasn't having like spare talent materials. The biggest mistake, in my opinion, I've done here is not to end it with enough energy on Shangli. As you can see, her burst is not full, which is a bit annoying on the third chamber, but it is what it is. So right now I'm on Neuvillette and I forgot it. It was only Neuvillette and Kazuha the whole time. Yeah, you don't really need many characters, I think, for Neuvillette. What I would do, like, this team obviously is very strong because I have a lot of investment in it. I have his C1 on Neuvillette, I have the signature on Kazuha, I have the talents up, and I have very strong artifacts. But by just using all-around, for example, on the scroll set, which I usually use on in the overworld to save time, you just get a huge damage buff by like 40%, and by using another character you also get this passive stacks, so you actually don't even need to see one apart from the what's it called, interruption resistance. So you can use Zhongli, for example, and Zhongli will work perfectly fine. So a functioning team would be like Neuvillette, Kazuha, Zhongli, Oron, for example. And if you want more ideas for teams for Neuvillette, or like a Neuvillette guide, because I've been manning him since 4.1, I have a lot of artifacts for him farmed, I have weapons tested. Just write it down in the comments, I would be very happy to do so. And now you're going to witness some of the most depressing abyss runs once again against the solitary Suani. So it starts off pretty well. Rising doing a lot of damage, I just burst on him. Damage isn't that high, I do like, I don't know, 60-70k damage maybe with this burst. And I do a lot more damage with his normal attacks in the whole combo, but it's pretty nice to have. You can burst on him whenever you can. As it applies extra cryo for your Shangli to wait. And Farina doesn't do much of a role on this specific chamber, because the Suani is actually hydro resistance a bit, like 80%, 70%, something like that. And I made a huge blunder here where I didn't well, just use a swirl reaction on those spheres, so now there's this big tornado doing damage sometimes. And the most important thing is that it didn't stun the solitary Suani in time, which led to me not having enough time to finish this chamber within the time limit. But I guess that's fine, because I just retry it because I have time, I guess. But if you don't have time, you can always restart using another team. And this is one example where I died against this boss, and here's another one. Once again I was on Shangli, it was too slow, and it led to me just taking a little break. So here I am, on the same day, just a few hours later, charging up my device, challenging the abyss again. And this is, I think, the best run I've gotten so far on the first half of Chamber 3. Once again, same Neuvillette and Kazuha shenanigans, swirling the Hydro, and then Neuvillette just doing a lot of charge attack damage. I really like Oron with Neuvillette, but I also like Zhongli, I like Fischl, I like Lynette, I like Diona. Diona is, in my opinion, very underrated. For Neuvillette especially, because she's a shielder, Cryo is very nice, and she's pretty nice to build. And many of you have her if you pulled at his first banner, for example, on his release. I think he got released with Fischl, Diona, and Xingqiu, if I remember correctly. And yeah, I just cleared this one sub 1 minute. Oh well, exactly 1 minute. So I have 2 minutes to full stack clear the second half, and now, well, as you could probably predict, this is the final run of the biz, as I already showed you 3 times where I failed to do so. Not many tips. You just make sure to use a charge attack whenever you see this red mark on Rising. And Rising is very good against the solitary Swani because he's cryo. You can just freeze her when she does this special attack. And I think, I don't know how often I said this in my videos already, but Bennett and Shangling is just so strong. You can use the burst on Bennett first, and then swap to Shangling, and you get this insane buff. And this time I managed to trigger swirl on all those hydro balls, spheres, or whatever you call them. And yeah, I have 45 seconds left. This one is almost dead already. I just use all my bursts now and managed to stun again with Rising. If you don't have Rising, Ayaka works very well too. And as I said, Kenichi is very strong anyways. If you pair him with the Cryo for like some creature version characters, it works. But well, I think everyone has his own opinion on it. But yeah, pretty nice. Did it in time, so now it's time to check out the builds, if you do so. So first let's take a look at our main DPS for the second half, which is Wrightsley. He isn't maxed out yet, I didn't have that many resources, but his crit stats look very nice in my opinion. I have his signature weapon after losing to Farina's signature. Use him on 4-piece Mercy. Just pause if you want to take a look at the artifacts. It's very nice. And his talents are decent right now. It's pretty good also. Farina, have her since her release. No constellations, but her burst is crowned. And his stats are looking very nice, I say. Kazuha too, he's one of the characters I invested in the most. He's using the 4-piece VV. Oh, I did show his artifacts, but this is what it is. You can always check out Akasha. I think I have my artifacts linked there. Neuvillette, similar to Brightsy with his stat line, but he's used the Wizard, which also sometimes takes a bit of patience, and I use C1 on, not used, but I got his C1 and crowned his normal attack. Shangling, here I just realized she didn't have neither full set nor her sands, which just lowered her damage overall by quite a lot, but at least she has her weapon. I should probably just equip her with the right affect. Yep. And finally I have Bennett, oops, not Sheriff, Bennett, who has quite mid stats. Wait, I didn't look at him properly. Wait. And his weapon is not leveled up. I don't have enough Mora. Oh, I usually use him on the Sword of Narcissenkreuz, which has higher base attack, but in this team I prefer Skyward Blade for the extra energy recharge. And ignore the Splendor of Tranquil Waters, I have it on... I just got it because I lost the weapon 50-50 variety, but I plan on leveling it up after I have enough resources. I have enough to crown his burst. Guys, please crown his burst. It's very nice, and just use Noblesse.